One of my favourite things about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is how it delivers the goods through its phenomenal characters and the plots and arcs that reveal more about them. 084 is a harmless episode, but a prime example of the early days where the show hadn't yet worked out that putting character before plot was the way to go. The episode's standout moments all come from the growth of our main characters and their developing chemistry as a group. That being said, I am a sucker for episodes that open with a tease, then rewind the clock and work their way back to that moment. For me, that never gets old. It's a great way of keeping an audience engaged, especially people who may have not been entirely sold in the pilot but did come back for another episode. It's fascinating to imagine what 084 may have been had it been placed later in the season where the character dynamics had been fully established. Episodes like Repairs, while not the best the show has to offer, still benefit from having had time to get a better grasp of the characters. Still, let's not judge 084 by what it could have been, but what it is. The episode opens with the bus mid-flight, Coulson's voice heard on the radio.
Yeah, we're all good. It's gonna be blue skies from here on out.
And then... To be fair, there are still blue skies. Thinking about it, there are plenty of blue skies this season. 19 hours earlier, Skye boards the bus while Coulson, May and Ward debate the pros and cons of her joining the team. Fitzsimmons, adorable as ever, welcomes Skye with open arms. Fitz's early series crush on Skye, both hilarious and a mood.
Sorry.
Skye, acting as a means through which the audience learns exposition, learns about what an 084 means, as teased at the end of the pilot. An 084 is what S.H.I.E.L.D. designates an object with unknown origin. I really like the little character detail with Coulson obsessing over using a coaster. It makes the final scene even better considering Coulson's desire for cleanliness and order here. The team lands in the 084's location in Peru. Fitzsimmons have an iconic conversation, like all their conversations, and we get an early display of Fitz's love of monkeys, reflecting Ian de Keistecker's love for them in real life. They also take a photo together that definitely won't come back to break our hearts in years to come. As the team begin a study on the 084, Ward and May have an interesting conversation regarding her title of the cavalry, before they clock a potential ambush by a group of soldiers. Cue badass fight. The soldiers are National Police led by Camilla Reyes, who clearly has a history with Coulson. They decide to work together on the study of the 084. This'll go well. Skye adorably tries to fit in with Fitzsimmons' science-heavy deductions, while Ward makes his disapproval of her known once again. This guy. Everyone is then ambushed by an army of rebels. Now forced to hurry, Ward cuts to the chase.
You did not just pull that out of the wall. What is the matter with you?
And a gunfight ensues. I find Skye so endearing in this scene as she tries her best to help Fitzsimmons pack the dwarfs away. The team make their escape and bicker on the journey. I like the amount of close-ups in this scene, showing the team is just still a bunch of individual voices yet to blend into a team like we see them become in one of the final shots of the episode. Back at the bus, Fitz explains the 084 is full of gamma radiation and tesseract technology. I love how one of the first things they do in unison as a team is take a step back as if to say, not today, Satan. Coulson apologises to May over her having to involve herself in field combat, while Simmons shows kindness to Skye. More team bickering ensues.
Congratulations, Agent Ward. You managed to string 3 words together in a sentence.
That insult has an element of tragedy to it considering the consequences of Ward's actions at the end of this season. Camilla also has doubts about Coulson's team handling the 084. Bloody Camilla. Due to even more team bickering about lack of experience in the field. Coulson irons out some kinks by listing off the team's talents, and, well, Skye's there too.
I'm good at stuff too.
I'd forgotten just how much of an outcast Skye really is in the beginning of the show. Fitzsimmons continue examining the 084 while Skye and Ward share a drink. Skye makes comparisons between S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Rising Tide while Ward finally starts to open up, and everyone and their mother is now certain something's going to happen with these two. Coulson and Camilla talk some more, and Coulson and Ward both begin to smell a rat.
Hand me the bottle.
Okay, Turbo.
I guess that's a popular nickname on this show. A fight breaks out while Camilla reveals she decided to turn on Coulson.
As soon as I saw your team.
Bitch. Everyone is tied up and each take blame for things going wrong. The first instance of the characters in this show being the kings and queens of blaming themselves for everything. Skye reduces pressure on Fitzsimmons by telling them to find a solution in small parts, echoing her earlier conversation with Ward. Fitzsimmons are also surprised to learn May is the infamous cavalry.
I told you never to call me that.
Sorry. Camilla intends on using the 084 as a weapon to end rebel uprising and stabilise her country. Coulson fails to appeal to her better nature. As May breaks free of her restraints and the others get free, Camilla mocks Coulson's team and even Lola, which is a step too far. The team have come up with a plan and enact it with a dwarf, which Coulson spots. Knowing his team is working on a solution, and with his belief in them vindicated, Coulson follows Camilla's orders, and we see him speak the dialogue from the beginning of the episode in a similar vein to how they used Skye's voiceover in the pilot. The explosion is revealed to have been the dwarf activating the 084, blowing a hole in the side of the bus. There's more fighting in a pretty cool sequence as May regains control, the 084 is reacquired and Coulson chooses to save Camilla. In a set of callbacks to earlier in the episode I absolutely love, Skye uses the information she read in a safety pamphlet to seal the hole, and... Proud Dad Coulson is my favourite Coulson. The dust clears as Coulson and Skye talk about what will happen to Camilla and insurance for the damage on the bus. Ward and May discuss Skye and Ward agrees to be her supervising officer. The team seem happy with their gained experience as they gather to watch the 084 be sent into the sun. They all take equal blame for their plan when Coulson asks, solidifying themselves as a cohesive unit. I especially like how Ward playfully hits Fitz, flipping their roles from the pilot. Skye secretly messages the rising tide, her loyalty still torn. We then get an absolute joy of a final scene as Nick Fury berates Coulson for the damage done to the bus, ordering him to restore it exactly as it was.
So don't have Fitzsimmons going making modifications like a damn fish tank.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we're gonna have to kill the fish tank.
Absolutely glorious. I believe this was a secret until broadcast and a lovely cameo to end the episode on. Samuel L. Jackson expressed interest in appearing on the show and it's great to see it happen and solidify S.H.I.E.L.D's place in the MCU. While it may say a lot that this was the standout moment of the episode for many, as the show goes on it won't need to rely on MCU tie-ins to survive and, more importantly, thrive. So yeah, the plot of 084 is a bit too generic to get that invested in, but when the episode focuses on how these events affect the characters and their journeys towards working together as a team, it's so much fun to watch. You can see the chemistry building here, and with ongoing mysteries such as Coulson's death and May's cavalry past, there is still a lot to enjoy as the show works out what it wants to be. I didn't care much for Camilla, to be honest. Giving her a pass with Coulson seemed like a way of trying to force me to care about her plight. Had we had a character with this motivation later in the series, I could see it being done a lot better. However, what the show needed to do at this point was develop its main characters, and we're starting to see sparks of it here. Still a long way to go though. 084 is very watchable TV, but that's about as much praise as I think it needs. And on we go to the next one. See you next time.